Hello. Alright, welcome. Thank you for clicking on this video. Let me just check. You might want to fast forward because I have to go to my YouTube channel and make sure that everything is good. Sound is good. Alright, so far so good. I don't hear any echo. This live stream, I guess I'm back to doing my my usual, which is sort of impromptu live streams. I think I operate best when I do that. When I schedule live streams, I don't do well. And for what it's worth, I schedule this live stream about 10 minutes ahead of time, and I'm already not doing well, which is why I like to go, I just like going live. Anyhow, I have a message that I feel like it's important for people to hear. Hopefully this message reaches you wherever you are. If you don't know who I am or what this channel is or what the hell, this is sort of a channel dedicated to talks and live streams. And it is associated with my other channel, which is the Arabian Oracle, that I have dedicated mostly for Reiki as well as ASMR. Back to the message, the download, or whatever it was. It came to me yesterday, and I don't know about you, but a lot of people struggle with money. A lot of people struggle with self-worth. I believe I fall in that category. I don't think the wounds regarding self-worth, the wounds regarding money, especially how money was used to control me, and I can only speak for myself, and I'm going to put it out there right now, not trying to be a victim, and I am not trying to show you that I'm, a poor human being and get you to feel sympathy or empathy towards me. I have learned the hard way to only give examples about myself and not mention anyone else or reference anyone else. So the examples that I give about me usually relate to the topic. They're not intended to get sympathy from the viewer. So if you're like me, regardless if you know it or not, if you find that you crave abundance in your life, you're not where you are in your life, you want this, you want that, and you're just not there and you're not sure why, you might be having issues with things that I'm going to say in this video that might give you an aha moment that might help. Let me just lower the volume because I can actually hear myself speaking and I am very distracting. So I titled this this live stream Finding the Treasure Within, because that's sort of the message that I got yesterday while I was meditating, and it brought me to tears. And I've had this message not exactly this way before, but recognizing your self-worth is associated heavily with self-realization and self-actualization and living your own authentic life and getting on your path in this life, which a lot of us are not, right? Even if you're happy and you're content with where you are, but there's this nagging feeling inside of you that you want more, that you deserve more. This is the message that you want to hear, and hopefully it helps. The message that came through was to become connected with yourself so well and establish such a secure connection within yourself that there is no other choice but for the magnificent self that you have come to understand that you are, not from a place of ego, just from a place of self-realization. So that magnificence begins to pour into your reality, or what you perceive or what you know to be your reality, in every way and in every shape and in every form possible. sort of like the analogy that came to me just before I sat on here this morning, sort of like a Wi-Fi connection. You get the luxury of endless internet surfing. When you go to a hotel and you check into the hotel, you go to your room and you see the Wi-Fi, the secure code to the Wi-Fi. This luxury. You feel like you're in luxury. I have a secure Wi-Fi connection. I can surf the internet. The world is at my fingertips right now. And without it, you sort of feel cut off from everything, from everyone, and your world suddenly becomes small. Because this is the reality. This is our world now, which is why this analogy sort of came through, and it makes sense. So it's only when you experience this do you begin to wonder why you've not done it before. Imagine going to a motel or a cheap hotel that doesn't offer you Wi-Fi service, and you that's all you've known. Like you just go there and you limit yourself, and and you're content. You're content with what you have, but you could have more. And then one day, somebody gifts you, you go and you check into a hotel that offers you that service. And you're like, man, I could get used to this, And that's what self-realization and self-actualization is, and that's what I'm talking about. And the way you get there, in case you're wondering, how do I self-realize? How do I get the luxury service? You get the luxury service by going within yourself. The easiest way, I would say, is to sit down and meditate. And meditation on its own, I say the easiest way, but it actually is difficult for a lot of people, including yours truly. I could never sit down and meditate. I hated it because I would fight my mind. You would have to fight your thoughts, your mind. You can't sit still. You fidget. You have anxiety, and you just drop it and you stop. But meditation, just a reminder, is a practice. It's not you don't sit down and you connect. You have to keep coming back to this practice because you have a goal. You've set an intention because you want to go within that depth that is within you. You want to start establishing that secure connection within yourself. And that's how you do it. In the beginning, you falter. A few times you can't connect. A few times you quit. Then you go weeks without doing it. Then you come back again. And each time you do it, you get better and better and better and better. And the connection becomes clearer and easy. You know how you connect, and it's like fast internet. When I connect with and it's not 100% all the time. It's sometimes a struggle because I'm still human. And we still, thoughts and all that. But when I connect fast. And when I want to receive guidance, when there's a reason for my connection, I can get the answer pretty quickly, pretty rapidly, pretty instantly. And that's what that's your navigation tool. Meditation is your little GPS to find your most authentic, true self, to find your higher self, to say, okay, I like this. And, I'm going to stick around here for 5 minutes today. And then, I'm going to end the session. And then tomorrow I'm going to come back and maybe I'll stay for 10 minutes and see how well. And each time you do this, the connection becomes easier. It becomes clearer. I think you understand what I'm trying to say. When you realize how easy and how joyous it is to live your best, your truest, most authentic life, that your conscience is clear in this life. You're good. Even if in the beginning you don't have a lot, you don't manifest a lot immediately, it still feels right. It feels like I'm good here. I like where I'm at. I'm going to continue down this road and see where it leads me. So you can't help when you get to this point. Even in the beginning, you'll begin to wonder, what was I doing before? You'll begin to laugh at the version of you, not from judgment, but just from being humble and humbled. The version of you that chased people, that chased money, that chased things, and worked so hard for this, for that, for the other, to achieve this, to get that thing, it won't be difficult anymore. In fact, you're going to reach a point where things will come to you. And that's probably another live stream, but that's when you become sort of magnetic. You've connected yourself with your light so much that your light pours into you. And you don't have to chase anything, because you begin to emit that light. And everything that is yours, that you came on this planet deserving of and worthy of, because you've self-realized and actualized and you know that now, it just finds you. Because you found your light. When you find your light, everything that is associated with that light, which is abundance, which is happiness, which is health, which is joy, which is success, freedom, you name it, will find you. Without you needing to exert any effort. You might need to tweak yourself a little bit here and there, align yourself further with your light, meaning heal your wounds. Don't lie to yourself. Be true with your own self. And that's it. I'm not saying you're broken, you need to fix yourself. Not really. I don't think that we are broken. I don't like this term in the spiritual community. I even don't like to say that I heal myself and I've been healing my wounds and doing this and that. Yes, it is that. But if you want to look at it in a different light, in a different way, I'm aligning myself with my true, authentic self, with who I am, with who I know. I know deep inside of me that I am. But I had to change myself to fit in here and to be accepted there and to get out of trouble and stay out of trouble here. All of that. You begin sort of withdrawing your energy from all these places that you don't belong. And you begin aligning yourself with you, with your truest, most authentic self. So self-realization, basically, oh, hello, who's here? Buddy Lawrence. Hello, buddy. Nice to see you. Abraham Hicks said, use willpower for your needs. Wait for inspiration otherwise. Yes, that is called inspired action. Inspired action. So me coming on here, which is why I like, I'm just tying it in for you. It's why I like to do my live streams without scheduling them, because you're making a commitment to something in the future and you don't know. Whereas inspired action is somewhat similar to what I did today, even though I did schedule it, but I kept the time frame shorter. I would have preferred to just come on here and do it right then and there. I probably would have felt better about myself. But again, it's you learn, you live and learn. Also following the YouTube recommendation and guidelines and all that, and all the tips for success on YouTube doesn't necessarily align with who I am. But thank you. Yes, Buddy Lawrence. And thank you for hopping over to this channel. I really do appreciate you and your energy and the fact that you are here. So self-realization is the answer. And self-realization happens when you go within. And when you go within, you're going to hang around for a little bit until you find your way around. Because it's a new environment for a lot of us, especially if we've been oriented from birth to this world, to this reality, to everything we see, hear, and learn in this world is all we know. So to switch gears and go within and sit in stillness and wait and listen and receive, your intuition, receive your light, receive your guidance, that's an entire sort of can of worms that it's not ever been introduced to us. And when you open it, you have to sort of navigate that path, navigate that can of worms. I don't like comparing finding your authentic self to a can of worms, but you have to navigate that on your own because it's your path, which is where religion really got it wrong, because religion collectivizes, and spirituality is very, very it's an individual experience. You came here to individualize, whereas this world teaches us to become part of a collective. This world, this reality, the way it is designed, collectivizes you. Spirituality, the real reason you are here, is for you to dig out your individual. You're in the book, the Sufi book I'm reading. I'm on the 4th book. It's called The Art of Personality. The art of finding out who you are and bringing that personality to life in this world and living it. That's how you authenticate yourself. That's your purpose. The religion, cookie cutter, stamp. This person belongs to this religion. They do these things. And I've talked about this before. Religion does not, it collectivizes, and it's a shame that that's what religion does. And that's why you get the mob mentality in religion. That's why you get people who attack women like myself. I just was, I don't want to, feed the trolls, but as of a few days ago, somebody really poured a significant amount of hatred onto my Arabian Oracle channel in the form of a comment. And that channel, I'm trying to make it all ASMR and Reiki. So they went into my description and read that I'm an ex-Muslim and that I escaped Islamic misogyny. And they really sort of took when you take a dagger and you stab someone, that's exactly what was done, because they have been, it's a mob mentality, and anyone who leaves, it's like a cult. Anyone who exits that cult is a target, regardless. I could be saying, and I am saying the truth, but for them, attack her, get her, eliminate her. And that's unfortunate. That's not why we're here. That's the exact opposite of why we are here. Sorry, I went on this is me. I always have to divert. So self-realization is the answer. Going within is how you get that answer. And when you go within, you receive your light. That should be your intent. I'm not telling you what you need to do and what your tent is. That's up to you. You might want to go within for something else. Maybe it's just you want money, and that's fine. But I would urge you to want to connect with your higher self, with your authentic self, the art of personality, to find out who you really are, outside of what this world has taught you that you are. So receive your light and receive all of your light, because you're big enough. You're big enough to receive all of your light. And never stop. Never stop. Because once you receive your light, you know what you're going to do? You're going to inspire other people to do the same. So never stop. And you won't want to stop because it's so delicious and it's so beautiful and it's so loving and it's just so different from everything in this world that we've come to know about. Even spirituality. Spirituality has become mainstream, and spirituality has been infiltrated with the same parasites, for lack of better words, that have infiltrated religion, that have infiltrated politics, that have infiltrated education. Spirituality has been contaminated right now. So the best guidance is in here. It's in here. The price that you will have to pay, and this is coming from someone who's been ostracized. I think I've mentioned before that the religion I left, that I escaped, once people like the sort of, we are to be beheaded. Hello, Tam. Hi, hun. Tam C. Assalamu alaikum. Caught you live after a while. I'm very happy. Thank you. I'm so happy people are starting to show up to my lives here. I just want to point that out. I'm very grateful. I'm trying to create this channel instead of mixing the bag with the other channel. I'm going to dedicate the other one just for Reiki and ASMR. And I'd like for the people that enjoy my live streams to eventually come here and we can all chit chat here together. So I really do appreciate the fact that you are here, and I just want to make that clear. So thank you. So back to what I was saying, the religion that I escaped, that the person attacked me the other day without knowing anything about me. He decided that I'm a liar, and he was laughing his ass off because I apparently escaped Islamic misogyny, and it's hysterical for him because, yeah. It's always those people. Yeah, the people that you escape don't like the fact that you escaped them. So the punishment for people like me is a beheading. And I'm disowned. Again, I'm not trying to play the victim, but for the purpose of this live stream and for the point that I'm trying to make here, that you do end up paying a price when you find your own light and when you receive your own light and when you choose when you choose to emit your light. When you choose to do that, you're going to pay a price. Historically, the figures in history, I'm not going to name them, they've paid prices as well. It's not as bad right now in the West compared to the religion that I escaped, but you will still be ostracized, you will be shamed, you will be pressured, you will be shunned. You will be advised to stop what you're doing. You'll be ridiculed. You're going to be laughed at. You're going to be questioned. Your sanity is going to be questioned. People won't like you. Not the way they liked you when you didn't carry your light. Not the way they liked you when you were fake. And not the way they liked you when you were a cookie cutter copy, just like everyone else. Following. Don't poke your head up, because if you poke your head up, the head goes. So people won't like you, but do it anyway, because it is the only way for those like us to live authentically. And I don't know about you, but even though I'm disowned, even though I'm blacklisted in the country that I escaped, I can't go anywhere in that region, in the Middle East, because they will just ship me from one country to back. They all connect with each other. I guess the term is extradite. Canada does not have an extradition treaty with the country that I escaped, so I'm good here. Now, unfortunately, we have open borders in Canada, but it is what it is. Anyway, that's, again, another topic. Do it anyway, because I couldn't live with myself in the country that I escaped, which is why I escaped, which is why I left the religion, which is why I did all that, which is why I'm blacklisted, because I wanted to be able to live with myself, and I couldn't do it. I reached a point where I honestly believe, I think it would have ended me. I truly, the life that I was expected to accept and live in, and the rules that I was it was a demand. You had to live by these rules. I couldn't live. It would have ended me. And I chose me. And when you choose yourself, a whole new path opens up for you. And the old will dissolve eventually, regardless how traumatizing the old would be or would have been. You will be saved, and the savior will be you. You will save your own self from a lot of heartache, from a lot of headache, from a lot of rubbish that you didn't come here for. You know, you're going to find your path. You're going to find what it is you came here to do when you choose yourself. Buddy Lawrence, people don't want to sacrifice collectivism. It feels safe and it gives them identity. And people don't trust others outside the group. But it's funny because I'm just going to pause my live stream points here. Just going to highlight it to know where to go back to. But speaking of the collective, I live in Canada, and Canada is the left. Like if you want a definition for the left, it's Canada. And I'm not saying this in a negative way. It just is what it is right now. And the left has its own characteristics because the left operates under a hive mind, which is collectivism. The left is collectivism. Recently, I'm not going to mention the podcast or the YouTube or anything, but the left has created a cult out of spirituality. And there's a prominent figure that the left, I really don't like saying that word. I don't want to anyhow, whatever. It is what it is right now. For the sake of the argument, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to other people, you know. We are where we are right now. But the spiritual community has created a facade. And part of that facade, they have there's this person who's a guru. And this person has a podcast, very famous podcast, millions of followers, extremely successful person. They said something on their podcast about 2 weeks ago. And it was fascinating to watch what happened, but the left eventually turns on itself. And I don't want to call them a cult, but they behave as a cult. And they turned on this guy, almost like a cult turning on their leader. And it's incredible. Like the podcast has been hurt. The guru guy has you can tell he's shaken because I saw the podcast, a little bit of it. I can't stomach it because he's a full-blown narcissist. And but you can see he switched off the comments on the podcast. He's being attacked left, right, and center. I keep seeing people from spiritual communities attacking. And I'm like, you're supposed to be spiritual, and yet you're vilifying this individual because he dared. He's not, listen, no one's perfect. He shared something he probably shouldn't have shared. But the way the left is turning on itself reminded me of, like, you know, the snake eventually eats its own tail. And that's in every cult. That's in every collectivist group. They're not living in harmony within each other. That's the same where I come from. People think that Muslims that they're a monolith. You know, Muslims live in harmony. We love each other. Muslims hate each other. And they kill each other because there's radicalism and there are sects. And this sect hates that sect and will eliminate. There's a lot of tribalism. So this homogeny, this picture perfect, you know, I don't know, man. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist within the collectivist world. Because in a collectivist world, there's this mentality. There's this, you know, if you go outside of our norms, you're gonna pay the consequences. And that's what I'm trying to tell you here. It is better to exit stage left sooner than later, because when you build your, you know, empire based on this, it's like building sand castles, and then comes the wave and your castle is gone. Castle's out of sand, right? So get out of it now, find your path now. It's best to become an individual, and I've been alone from a very long time. I was a child and I remember being alone. being alone in the way I think, being alone in the way I viewed the world, being alone in not fitting in. I've recognized this from a very, very young age, probably age 8, 7, maybe younger. Now, I'm not going to tell you I've always been spiritual. I was lost. I tried to follow the herd in Saudi Arabia, in Canada as well. It hurt me deeply. And it wasn't until I found my own light and I accepted myself. I'm happy. I have very few, actually, I don't think I have any friends. Because they don't see me as a realistic human being. I rarely leave my house to earn money, and yet I've been able to manifest money. I've not worked like a long-term job since 2020. And I continue down this path. Your higher self, the universe, God, whatever it is, spirit, it's going to carry you. It's going to carry you through as you navigate your own path. It's got your back. You just have to put in the effort. You just have to put in the intention. The intention in here. And it can't be fake. It can't. You can't be fake with yourself. You can't. You just can't. You can't. So back to the talking points. Dimming your light. Dimming your light is the term of, is the price that you pay. When you say, I'm going to join this collective, here's my light. I don't want it. I give up my light. I'm going to dim my light because I want to belong to this group of people. I want them to be happy with me, and I want them to pat me on the back and give me money and praise me. And I want to feel good. I want them to look up to me. So I'm going to dim my light. It's not going to last. But that's exactly what it is you're doing. You've sold yourself. That's not your path. Sorry to be the bearer of bad news. That's you dimming your magnificence down and cutting yourself off from your own energy and from your own expanded self to please those who only know how to live in limitation and only know how to live disconnected from their light. And they want you to do the same. They want you to be the same. Not because they're evil, not because they're bad people. No, because they are disconnected. And like attracts like. When you're disconnected from yourself, when you're disconnected from who you are, when you're disconnected from anything outside of this world, money, fame, success, sex, when you're disconnected and you just want all this rubbish that's out here, that's all you're going to attract. You're going to attract disconnected people who dim their lights, who sell themselves. That's the term, selling your soul. You've sold yourself for a temporary something here that nobody knows when it's going to be taken away from you. There's no guarantee. And then we wonder why we aren't where we want to be in life, why we can't achieve the things that we desire. Why does this person appear successful? And that's all it is, by the way. It's an appearance. It's an appearance. And it's, speaking of appearances, I watched yesterday, because I've been so hard on myself regarding the Arabian Oracle, the YouTube channel, which, bloody hell, man, I'm trying to turn that channel around, and it's like the freaking Titanic trying to turn it around. But it's slowly starting to turn to where I want it to go, but it's a very slow process because I believe the damage has been severe. But because I've been hard on myself, suddenly yesterday, I don't know, I was navigating, I just like to watch documentaries. Even documentaries on TV now, they have you can tell they're trying to take you down a certain path. But anyway, I enjoy documentaries. And there was this documentary about a woman in Utah who had a very successful YouTube channel. 3 million subscribers as of, I think, 2022 or 2023. Her name is Ruby Frankie. Ruby Frankie, look it up. It's on Prime, the documentary. Ruby Frankie, and the name of her channel was 8 Passengers. Ruby Frankie is now in prison for child abuse with intent to cause bodily harm and neglect. That's all I'm going to tell you. You should go, but you watch the YouTube videos that she puts out. Oh, the facade of the appearance and happiness and 3 million subscribers, and she's making millions. She's buying these expensive homes, and meanwhile, she's harming her own children. She's abusing. It's frightening. But again, it's appearance. We live in a fake world, and we believe the fakeness. we believe it. We believe it, and it doesn't seem like, well, we want to learn. I don't know. Hopefully people are learning. I believe documentaries like that are important because YouTube is its own monster. YouTube is its own facade, and I'm not here to crap on YouTube because it also serves a purpose. But back to the points that I was making regarding appearances. You stopped following your soul. So when you stop following your soul and choose to follow the norms, and I probably should express here, I'm not advising you to go break rules. Please don't. I'm not saying go hurt people. Please don't. I'm not saying go steal, commit crimes because you're special and you're going to go down your authentic path. That is not your path. Your authentic path does not involve hurting people or breaking laws or committing heinous crimes against others. I'm talking about social norms that don't sit well with you. Like for me, growing up in Saudi Arabia, I had to cover my hair. I was denied freedom in every shape and form, which is why I call it Islamic misogyny. Every shape and form. Bodily autonomy, I had none. My own sexuality, if you exhibited any sign of being a sexual female or a sexual being, you could lose your head. You would be whipped. They would lash you in public. If you dared to think that you had the freedom to love a boy. This is what I'm talking about. This is inhumanity. This is inhumane. But that was the norm. Those were the social norms. Women could not drive. I had no freedom of movement. I couldn't exit my house. I was being surveilled. Like there was surveillance. The neighbors, the mosques. If I were to leave the house, I would be immediately followed and abducted and thrown in jail. I couldn't leave the country. I couldn't travel on my own without permission from my legal guardian. And that meant they had to come with me to the airport physically and deliver me to airport security. Yes, she can travel now. It's okay. We know where she's going. And after all this, now they have an app. So if a woman leaves the country, her father or her husband or her brother or whoever her guardian is gets notified through an app. It's like unbelievable. You know, it's like you're shipping an animal, like a dog. You're shipping a dog and you're waiting. You're tracking your dog where the dog is. It's the same thing. You are property to somebody. But that was the social norm. That's what I grew up. That's what was demanded of me. And I couldn't do it. Did I hurt anyone? I don't think so. I hurt myself because I couldn't do it. I got disowned. I got blacklisted. I ended up in jail. But that was my learning experience because I chose my path. I always chose me. Because I couldn't live like that. I couldn't. Who wants to live like this? Some women do, and I'm happy for them. You know, if they're happy, maybe that's their path. I really don't know. But that's outside of this. When you stop following your soul and you choose to follow the norms in order to become part of a herd that doesn't care about the real you, that doesn't really care about you, they want the fake you, they want the cookie cutter copy of you, the conformist you, the you that doesn't raise its head, the you that doesn't ask questions they can't answer, the you that is small, the small you. But the real you, the magnificent you, the one that is larger than life, that one triggers them. And they can't handle it. People are not evil. I'm not vilifying people. This is just the reality that we live in. And this is like, it's still mostly this world that we call our reality and our world. It's still mostly unconscious. It's mostly like you see it. Look at the world leaders. Can you name one conscious, awakened world leader for me? Besides Trump, Trump has his moments. But outside of that, they're mostly unconscious human beings. People who are in positions of power are unconscious human beings because we live in a reality where power, people who seek power, want to control, are unconscious. They do it for control. The emperor of the universe, that is crazy. It is interesting that because of MBS decided to modernize and sweep all the things that happened under the rug like nothing. MBS is not perfect. I personally don't like MBS. I can point to 1,000,001 things that are wrong with MBS. But MBS is the best thing that has happened to that country. He is the best thing to happen to that country because he took that country from the dark ages and he put it to somewhere that it can actually function, that humans right now can actually operate, including women, girls. I'm seeing, and listen, and again, I'm going to divert. Let me just highlight where I am. People are not evil, because I'll come back to this point. I'm a person who grew up in Saudi Arabia when it was under full-blown Wahhabi, radical Islam, and Muslim Brotherhood control. And now, people who hear me speak, they laugh at me. They laugh at me because the Saudi Arabia that I lived in doesn't exist anymore. The Muslim Brotherhood, for the most part, MBS, he did quite the number. There was a lot of turbulence in the beginning. This was during the time that Khashoggi was killed in an embassy in Turkey, and people believed that Khashoggi was a journalist. Khashoggi was a Muslim Brotherhood weapons dealer. I grew up with his nieces. We went to the same school. So there was a lot of turbulence that was it was hidden, and the cleanup, it was done by MBS, and it was done quietly. All the mutawa, the religious police who I lived under, the people that abducted me, the people that caused me the biggest trauma I had in my life was when I was kidnapped by the religious police. Now there is no such thing as religious police in Saudi Arabia. So you have to understand, I look at Saudi Arabia now and I look at the women and I see them in doing things I couldn't do. Like, I have siblings in Saudi Arabia, I don't talk to them, but they're living a life that I never lived. And they probably think that I'm a liar, because they weren't exposed to what I was exposed to, and the stories that I tell them seem unbelievable to them. I'm not a liar. The Saudi Arabia, the version that I lived in, is what it was there. It was there. They can try to hide it. People can call me a liar, but history will show you what Saudi Arabia was, what it is now, and hopefully it gets better. Do I feel envious and jealous and I hate the women there now because they have more rights than I ever did? No. No. 100% no. I'm happy for them. But that's because I'm a conscious human being. That's because I connected with my higher self and I know what it felt like to live that hell. And I don't want that for anyone. I don't. I don't need to prove to anyone. The guy that came to my Arabian Oracle channel and laughed at me, he said, laughing my ass off, Because the funniest thing he's heard is that a woman has escaped Islamic misogyny. Yes, I escaped people like you. I escaped people like you. And I know it doesn't make you happy. I know this. But in the end, that country is going to hopefully is going to be a better place than it was and than it is still, because that man has put it on the right path. And I don't like him. And I don't agree with the things he says, and I don't agree with a lot of the things he does. But it is what it is. You have to point out the good when you point out the bad. Nobody is all bad. All right, so that's regarding Saudi Arabia. Back to what I was saying. People are not evil. When I tell you that people want the cookie cutter version of you, the small, the little you, the happy you, that doesn't question anything. That's not because they're evil. It's because they're still unconscious. They themselves are still unaware. They have not found their own light either. Those who have embraced their light, who they are, that's what I mean. The light, oh, she's saying woo-woo words. The light, woo-woo. No. You embrace your light. You embrace who you are. That is who you are. The people who embrace their light, their soul, their true selves, they don't get triggered when they see you doing the same. They don't. They cheer you on. They get behind you. When you have depth to you, those who know not what depth is can't handle you. When you go within, the cross that people have, and they wear it and they put it in churches. A lot of people don't understand what that represents. And why Jesus was crucified and he's along so it's vertical and horizontal. So the vertical axis of that cross, that's the depth. That's going within. And that's why Jesus was crucified, because he went within and he brought in consciousness into that world. The horizontal line is this world. It's this realm. It carries no depth. This realm is very superficial. And that's what the cross represents. That's the true meaning of the cross. But don't tell that to people, because they'll yell at you, because it goes against what they believe in. But that is it, and I understand this. It's the same with the ringing of bells in church. I live in a country where now you can hear the prayer, the Islamic call to prayer, but you will not hear the ringing bells to church. They have banned the bells ringing, and they have allowed the Islamic call to prayer. I'm not going to get into that, but the bells ringing, that sound, initially, it was meant to trigger you to go within immediately. When I am walking, because I connect with myself a lot, when I'm walking anywhere, when I hear any high-pitched sound, my heart flutters. And I've come to understand that when my heart flutters, that's my higher self connecting with me. And that was the point of the entire church bell ringing. It's not to call you to church. It's not to order you to go do you or whatever. It's to get you to remember, a remembering to go within. That's all that was. And that's it. That's the depth. The depth is going within here. All right. Questions? I don't know. I'm 50-50 with him. I feel all men who try to make themselves as idols or become a deity or something for the people, men tend to become more or less envious of the past. It is what it is, but he's made history. He's already made himself First of all, in that country, by the way, the topic of the live stream is over. If anybody has questions, so I'm just gonna answer some of the questions and comments before I finish off. What was I saying with regards to MBS? He's already created significant change, and he's broken something. So he got rid of the radicals who eventually came to the West. By the way, the Arab Spring, which eventually came to Saudi Arabia when MBS, came to be in power. The radicals came to the West, and a lot of them are in Canada. There's a big chunk of Muslim Brotherhood people, and I've met them. I've actually met them in Canada, and they're operating freely. So there was an exodus from the East, and they came to the West, and the West is asleep right now. It's going to be another 100 years before they wake up. But he also broke something else. He didn't only change the radicalism and the extremism in Islam in that country, but the way Al Saud, the ruling family, the way it worked is once a brother dies, the next king is the next brother in line. There's like 70 or 80 of them, these brothers. So he was the first child he's now being throned, which is why they call him, I think he's the crown prince. That's something new in that country. I forget, the throne goes from brother to brother, whereas usually in the West the throne is the descendants are the people who get the throne. That's the first. He's the first descendant to get the throne. So it's interesting. He's an interesting figure at the very least. And it's interesting to watch him without judging him too much. It's difficult for me because I see the bias. And I see that he's not awake, and I see he's not aware, and he's still repeating extremist propaganda himself, especially with hatred of Israel. But I don't know. He loves Trump. I know that. I did not mean to change the topic. No. It's fine, hon. It's done. It's done. The live stream is done. So that's it. That's the message that I got the other day when I was meditating, and it was so powerful. It was so powerful for me because I struggle still with my self-worth, and I struggle with, I don't want to say I struggle with finances, but I worry. I worry about finances. And then came this download, because when you connect within you, you connect and you're abundant. It's this treasure that begins to unlock inside of you, and it just begins to spill. Like when your connection with your higher self is easygoing, and you don't really, meditation is amazing, and I would always say sit down and meditate every day. Like when I don't meditate, I don't feel right. But when your connection with your higher self is continuous throughout the day and you don't lose it, the abundance that it begins to manifest in this reality. It's like you tapped into a gold mine, and it's hard for that gold to not begin to spill into your life, and that's essentially it. Don't worry about anything. Don't chase anything. Don't lessen yourself for anything. Don't do things that you're not okay with just because you're worried about money, just because you're worried about this, and just because start building that relationship with your higher self. Doesn't take long. It really doesn't. And I was full of gunk and trauma, which is why it took me 5 years to finally begin to manifest. Now, mind you, I've been manifesting things since 2022. And the first thing I manifested, I remember standing in front of it and staring at it. And somebody I knew, they looked at me and they're like, "Are you okay?" But I manifested something unknowingly, but when I did see it, it came into my reality. It was something I wanted. I didn't do anything to get it. It was just there. It appeared in front of me. I just went to a different location and it was there. And I made use of it a lot. I needed it. And I knew inside, it's almost like something is telling you, you did that. You did that. That was you. Because you connected with me and you thought about this thing, and now this exact thing, exactly the way I asked for it, was in front of me. And I didn't know much about manifestation at that point. I just wanted something and I thought of it before I went somewhere. And then I went to that somewhere and the thing I wanted was there. So, yeah, that's it, guys. That's the live stream. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate you. I hope this channel it does well. It's in its baby phases. I'm trying different things. So we'll see what sticks and what doesn't. And I'll try to follow my own intuition, my own intuitive guidance. And you guys know that I have a, I guess, let me do what I do on my other, what I used to do on my other channel. I have a Patreon that I'm going to link for you here in case people come in and see it later on and enjoy my chat and decide that they want to support me. And thank you for everyone who is in my Patreon. I haven't checked in a while. I've been taking a little bit of a break because I went on a binge with creating YouTube content, and now I'm waiting for my props. I have a bunch of props that I'm waiting for. So I'm all out of YouTube video ideas until my props are here. But I'll keep putting out shorts on the other channel. So that's it. Let me know if you have any questions before I head out. I have a question. The same thing happened to me. I went abroad. There is a bit more clarity when I go abroad. I am able to think more creatively. Yeah. But creativity should be like... you should be able to always keep that plugged in. Doesn't matter where you are. Where I'm at, I'm not kidding you, I don't go out. I don't go out anymore. There's nothing out there for me anymore. Unfortunately, Canada's going through a difficult time. Let's just put it that way. And I don't like the changes that have happened to this country. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, I don't like mass immigration. I don't like brown people. I don't know. I just know that what's happening in front of me hurts me to watch and to witness. And it's happening at such a fast pace, and the standards of living have deteriorated, and the accessibility to healthcare, the access to good education, all of these things have gone. So I just stay and connect with spirit here. I've made spirit my home, and it doesn't matter. Like, the reality around me can change as much as it wants. I'm dedicated to myself and to a group of people here that I feel I have soul contracts with, and I'm going to fulfill those contracts. I know what I'm doing. Outside of that, I'm a bit, what do they call it? I'm having issues with YouTube. So hopefully that gets resolved. But it is what it is. Doesn't matter where you go. Well, it matters if you're in nature. Like, I try, like, there are paths around me, trails, but we are going through a heat wave right now in Canada. I don't know if you can tell, I'm very sticky. But I don't go out to the trails anymore. But when the weather is nice, I go out, I watch the birds. I make amazing encounters with animals. Beautiful encounters with animals. The ocean, just touching water. But, I can get the same feeling in a bathtub. So I would say connect with nature. I have a nice patio. I go out when the weather is not horrible. I sit in the patio. I listen to the birds. I watch the sky. I even go out in rain, and I want to feel nature. I watch the sunset. I watch the moon. Like, that's what I enjoy. I don't want to go on expensive trips. I would like to eventually leave this country because I don't feel like there's a future for me here anymore. But That is a long-term thing that I'm trying to manifest. So we shall see. I need to finish this whole contract that I have with the people here before I can safely exit this country. I feel you. My sister moved abroad to Austria 5 years ago from the US and did not look back. She has never been more happier. Austria is what it is, but Austrians tend to be more grounded. That's good. I'm very happy for your sister. Very happy. They are conservative, yes, but I do not think they are the most extreme form of conservative. It's funny. Canadians don't like Canadians that are, left leaning, like the province that I'm in. They hate conservatives. Like, conservative has become a dirty word in Canada, but yet they flooded this country with not just they flooded this country with fundamentalists from the religion that I escaped. I'm trying not to use label words, but full-blown fundamentalists, if not extremists. And I don't know, but the religion that I escape is pretty much right-wing. It's about as right-wing as you can get in the East, not in the West. And they've befriended them. The left and the fundamentalists. It's incredible to me. I'm like, I can't wait for this. This is basically it's like mixing fire and oil. An explosion is about to happen. I don't know why it hasn't already, because this ideology does not mix with this ideology at all. And there is friction, like you see it in the schools, because the schools they teach kids about gender, queer this, queer that, and the religion that I'm from, you can't, none of that stuff. I would suggest Austria if you're looking to leave. I have my own little haven that I'd like to go to. We'll see. I want to go down south. And listen, if I'm going to live in a communist country, I might as well live in one that has nice beaches and nice weather. I'm pretty accustomed at this point to communism. But let's see. I'm kidding. I'm not saying Canada's communist, but we're certainly heading that way. All right, guys, let's finish that. Let's finish this, and hopefully I'll do another live stream soon, and I'll catch you guys. All right. Thank you so much again for being here. I love you.